I was the one whose sister-in-law demanded that I'd pay for a holiday. Here is part 2. So, sister-in-law was very disappointed and angry that I didn't bow down to her every whim and paid for a holiday. For those who read my first post, know that I'm well off, thanks to hard work and some luck. We had some flying monkeys come in because of my sister-in-law. Most backed down and understood where we stood and left us alone. Unfortunately, the whole family of my dear husband now knows that we have a bank account with money on it, as sister-in-law had called a lot of family members to complain and spill the beans. They began talking amongst themselves and their children. Some of the aunts, uncles, and cousins didn't think it fair that I paid for some college funds for some children of cousins and that I paid for a family holiday. To note, I only have college funds for the children of cousins who we have a close relationship with. That's about 6 cousins with around 12 kids. I'm in this family for almost 20 years, and I only see the majority of the aunts, uncles, and cousins on the yearly, bi-yearly family reunion, if everybody comes. I haven't seen some of them in around 5 to 10 years. A couple of days after the fallout with sister-in-law, an aunt and uncle call, something they never do. I put my phone on speaker as I was busy with folding the laundry. They ask how everything is going, how we're holding up during the pandemic and such. We exchange some experiences, and then they both go like this. This is the start of the convo. Aunt and uncle, listen, we hear you have some college funds set up for some of the children of certain cousins. Is that true? Me, yes, that's true. I'm no liar. Aunt and uncle, is it true that you took mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law 1, sister-in-law 2, and family with you on a holiday? Me, yes. Aunt and uncle, you also have a holiday home, yes? Me, we do, but why do you want and need to know? Aunt and uncle, we never knew you had so much money. Me, well, a lot of hard work, sacrifices, dedication, and luck were part of it. Aunt and uncle, aha. Well, you have to pay for our grandchildren's college funds as well. And we want to go on a holiday with our children too. We deserve it too. Me, shocked silence. Aunt and uncle, we're family, so you have to pay. Me, less shocked silence. Aunt and uncle, yes, we want college funds for our 6 grandchildren, each consisting of $800,000 for each child, and we want a holiday home like yours, but in location X. We already have one we want. We'll send you the information. And that also goes for our family holiday. We're family, and since you have the money, you can pay for us too. Me, pissed off silence. They continue to rant that they deserve it because they're family, and family takes care of each other. My hubby, meanwhile, had heard everything and was getting angrier. I had pressed a record button halfway through the convo and asked them to repeat their demands. I eventually asked them if they had more to say, which they hadn't. I just flat out said that it wasn't going to happen, that they might think they're entitled to my money, but they weren't. I quoted the phrase that they and many of the family gave us when hubby and I didn't have the money and were in a tight spot because we had a health scare. We asked every family member if we could borrow some money, and we would pay it back. Only 3 of the 9 aunts and uncles helped us, and we paid them back. The quote, "It is your responsibility to have and save enough money for the care, well-being, and education of your family. If you can't, then you don't deserve them. We won't be giving you any money." Stunned silence on their side. I told them to relay the message to the rest and not to call us with such demands, and I hung up the phone. Hubby was very proud. In the weeks that followed, some of the other aunts, uncles, and cousins called with the same. Only those aunts and uncles who helped us in our time of need called and told us to say that it is our money and that they have seen plenty of it and don't ask for more. One cousin called and asked for a certified loan for a down payment on a house, something I have agreed to. They had the majority saved, but came short of $1,000. They had to pay for it sooner as they could get the house sooner. Just now, I saw that I received the first half of it. That also raised hell. Then, with the aunts, uncles, and cousins, we had a Zoom call, and I explained to them my reason for not doing this. I told them that they could always come when they truly needed financial help, but under legal contracts so that neither party would feel themselves screwed over. Cousin who borrowed money even showed the certified, notarized loan. Most seemed to understand. Not entirely happy, but they knew they could come for help. But for some, it wasn't. Then came the cherry on top. I came home last week on a weekend to find a lot of parked cars in an otherwise almost empty street. I had to pass by my house in order to park somewhere else. And around 15 to 20 of aunts, uncles, and cousins had gathered in the front yard. So much for social distancing. Afterwards, it were 3 aunts, 3 uncles, and some cousins and their spouses. I parked the car and walked back home. Now, here is something that few people know. I have security cameras around my home that record sound as well. Another thing that a few people know, don't mess with me. I am told that my right hook is very painful. So, while walking back, I called the non-emergency line for our local police station. I told them the situation and telling them that crap might hit the fan. If they could come and assist in case it got out of hand. They would send some cops, and crap hit the fan. The moment I stepped inside of people, they started screaming, cursing, telling me to pay up or they will make sure that I'll pay, one way or the other, all the while cornering me. Some of them poked their finger close to my face and in my chest and arms. I told them multiple times to stop what they were doing and leave. Sometime through this, more cops were called by some neighbors as well, and when they arrived, were trying to get to me. Then, one uncle made a mistake. He slapped me. A man of about 6'3" slapped me. A woman of just 5'2" across the face in full view of the cops. The crowd went silent as he put his face almost in my face and went on a rant that I had to obey him as one of the elders of the family. All the while with his hands raised as he would slap me again. He couldn't continue his rant. I knocked him to the ground. He stayed down, not unconscious, but quite rattled and stunned that I had punched him. This was apparently what the cops needed as well. The family members were stunned, and the cops managed for them to get away from me. They were pissed. A couple of the aunts, uncles, and cousins managed to make a run to their car and drive away. The rest got to meet with some very angry cops, some fines for breaking social distancing rules, and the expectation that charges might be pressed against them. To shorten the novel already, I'm fine, had some bruised fingers, uncle had a broken cheekbone, and my lovely cameras are now in the hands of the DA. The other family members have distanced themselves from the crap that happened. To be honest, I feel really crappy. I feel like dividing a family because I just don't hand out money. Hubby says that this is money that I worked hard for, so I get to decide what happens. Still, I'm thinking of setting some college funds aside for the rest of the children, though I'm doubting that. It would also seem that I don't stand my ground and can be persuaded with violence, threats, and harassment. I'm so sick of it. Edit. To keep myself from repeating, I've pressed charges against my uncle for the little love tap he gave me. Thankfully, my uncle has not filed counter charges for the love tap I gave him in return. I've been told he asked for anger management courses and a psychological evaluation without prompts. His statement is that he got carried away and felt he was being egged on. He also wrote that he was extremely sorry and never meant to hurt me. I don't know what to believe. I know this behavior is out of character for him. He and his wife also contacted my lawyer with a written apology already. All those present had to give statements, and one red thread emerged. They were there because the aunt and uncle who called me first, the ones from this post, had said they all should and see if they could convince me. As for charges concerning the others who were present, my lawyer is looking if they can get charges to stick for harassment. He is also looking if the instigators can be charged with a number of things. That guy is having a field day. He loves this. Those who are not involved have sent texts, called, and sent me emails telling me that they're sorry for the behavior of their spouse, sibling, parent. They have not asked me to drop charges or anything though, just apologies. BS. This is them dividing a family because they're demanding your money. You've been more than generous with family already. I will never understand people who just demand money from others. Even if you, OP, had just won the lottery and it wasn't all hard work and sacrifice, so what? It's not on you that they want money. I mean, would I love for someone to pop in and pay off my kids' student loans? Sure. Would I demand it of them? No. Heck, I wouldn't even ask. Why are my decisions anyone else's responsibility? Update. What I want to start with is that this behavior is out of character. This is my hubby's family, and they have always been hardworking themselves, saved money, and family-oriented. They do not all have jobs that earn a lot. Them not loaning money when we needed it is because they don't like loaning money. They were afraid of not getting it back, as they also needed it. However, the comment they made then hurt. We talked about it at the time. They understood it then and apologized. Also, Hubby and I have a strong feeling that Blabbermouth's sister-in-law has said some things to them for them to go nuts. At the moment, this is just a hunch. We'll see what time will tell us. So, for them to pounce on me like this is not normal behavior for them. It doesn't change a thing though. Since the incident, I have talked to cousins, aunts, and uncles. On advice of my lawyer, sent an email that I do not want to be contacted by them at this point, as the visitors might face a lawsuit, as does little Love Tap Uncle. I gave them the contact information of lawyer if they so wish or need. I asked them to respect this. I also advised the visitors and Love Tap Uncle to find legal advice due to the circumstances. As of now, they respect this, as we have not received calls, texts, and emails. Only one cousin is in contact with hubby. This is the cousin who has the certified loan, and thus we need to be in contact with each other. He told hubby that the visitors and Love Tap Uncle are very ashamed of themselves and realized they fluffed up enormously. He has heard some talk about mediation. Love Tap Uncle even cried in front of him. A man who never cries. It seems genuine, but I'm cautious. I've read the responses and don't feel guilty anymore. I'm a person who helps when needed, always have. Even when we didn't have a lot of money, people were always welcome to stay for dinner and a night or two to get back on their feet. I have always felt lucky and blessed that I have a roof over my head, 3 meals a day, and clothes on my back. Hubby and I discussed that we won't be offering any kind of funds for the other family members, their children, or grandchildren. However, we are open for certified loans like cousin has, but have decided that we won't be sharing this view for now. I'm not going to punish people for the actions of their parents, grandparents. Some people said that I should move and change my number. No, I won't do that. I'm not going to move because of what happened. We live in a safe neighborhood with neighbors who take care of each other. Also, as of now, this is an isolated incident. I did block them on my phone and social media. My number is known to many official authorities. And again, as this is an isolated incident for the time being, I won't. Hubby chose not to block them, and any contact of them has been through him. In case they want to message him and they say things that could be used in court. He wants to keep tabs on them for as far as that is possible. I'm okay with this. All the correspondence has been saved. Lawyer and I have a Zoom call planned for the next week. I have let him know what cousin said. He also hopes to have heard something from the DA then. He said that mediation is an option and wouldn't be surprised if the DA would look into this if the visitors and Love Tap Uncle are open for this idea. There might still be a legal consequence for them. He has some ideas, but it also depends on the DA and what the visitors and Love Tap Uncle plead. Lawyer told me that he had some time to read some of the statements and view parts of the footage. Up until now, their stories are consistent with the footage he's seen. At this point, I want that their actions are recorded somewhere and have consequences for them. You do not get to threaten me, possibly my family, and harm me without getting your behind kicked at least once. Let them be scared crapless at this point. The footage is in the hands of the DA and my lawyer. Also, a neighbor has also recorded what happened, and that is also in the hands of the DA and my lawyer. Neighbor also gave a statement. I also have the footage saved in other places. You never know. Neighbors know what happened. I sent them flowers with an apology for the disturbance. They appreciated the gesture. Neighbors are not afraid, thankfully, and have promised to keep an eye on things. Angel neighbors, really. I don't consider myself a hero. I just try to be a decent human being. I don't flaunt the fact we have money. We live in a normal home in a normal street. We don't wear expensive clothes. The car I bought 10 years ago was brand new then, and the baby is still going strong. It has some dents and scratches on it, but the baby works. I'm not going to buy a new car if this one is still working. Same goes for hubby's car. Kids have their own chores and get pocket money. If they want something extra, they can do extra chores for some extra spending money. They also have to save part of their pocket money. We want to teach them the value of money. The eldest realizes that we have a filled bank account, but has also seen what it has cost. Kiddos want a Switch at the moment, so they're saving money for that now. We will pay for a certain amount, and the rest they have to get for themselves. So we just try to be an average family. Update 2. I don't believe it. This is a joke. It has to be a joke. Lawyer friend. I don't believe it. This is a joke. It has to be a joke. First joke. I think someone has found out where we live. We woke up last Sunday to find the tires of the cars slashed. All of them. Not only that, it has some wonderful artwork on both sides of the car. AKA, It was scratches. So, what did little old me and hubby do? If you guessed check the security footage, pat yourself on the back. You got it right. Our cars have dash cams that record 24/7 and are parked several streets over. Security measures number, I lost track of them all. We take them out, place another set, and look at the footage while saving recordings. You can guess again who you think it was. Did you guess Blabbermouth? Then I'm sorry to disappoint you. It was one of hubby's cousins, the one who thought that I should just hand over the money, bow down to the will of the family, and that hubby should get his woman in line. Remember him? I certainly do. Police were called, and we handed over security footage alongside pictures of said cousin's social media address, phone number, and email. Better be thorough, right? Afterwards, hubby called his mother to see if she, either by accident or not, spilled the beans. For now, she didn't. She and father-in-law are thinking hard if they might have missed something. I called my family, and they are also thinking hard if they said something to someone. And second joke. Blabbermouth and brother-in-law have filed a lawsuit against me, and to an extent, hubby. Guess for what? If you guess defamation, then dance your own wonderful dance. Since Blabbermouth is a social pariah in the family and in hometown, she blames me for all her woes in this. People in hometown talked, and a lot of them look at her with an upturned nose. They don't like that at all. Life has become somewhat uneasy for them. I wonder why. She's claiming that I'm the one who apparently blabbed outrageous lies to people in the town's gossip machine and caused her drama. Fun part is, it was her own mother. Because she was so upset with what was happening, she talked and told a lot to a lot of people. Lawyer is still rolling over the ground laughing. They demand compensation for their ruined reputation. They are willing to settle to keep it out of court. He has already started on the answer. When I saw the letter, I was angry and humored at the same time. Really, Blabbermouth? That's your game plan now? Very well. Game's on. So, who else's jaw has dropped to the depths of the sea?